Come on, Trump's going to get better at that. That's more like Biden.
Let's talk about the newest angle of attack against Republicans coming from the Dems.
These are weird people on the other side. They want to take books away. They want to be in your exam room. That's what it comes down to. And don't, get sugarcoating this. These are weird ideas. Listen to them speak. Listen how they talk about things. They got nothing. What are they going to pivot? What are they going to tell us about? I'm a Legion guy. They're not talking in the Legion clubs about banning books and things. They're wondering why this Project 25 cuts VA benefits. Why would they do that? Why is Donald Trump for doing that? And you never hear him talk about it. So this is a golden opportunity. Yes, they're weird. They prove that every day. It's an observation. What has happened where we can't even go to Thanksgiving dinner with our uncle because you end up in some weird fight that is unnecessary. and I think bringing back people together, well, it's true. These guys are just weird. And it's, they're running for He-Man Women Haters Club or something. That's what they go at. That's not what people are interested in.
While our network and basically every other independent media on the left has been saying this for years, Dems at the national level are finally seeing the fruits of putting civility aside and turning the table on the Republicans by using their own messaging strategy against them. For years now, the right has had no qualms about calling anyone outside of their party demonic, satanic, child abusers, groomers, evil, degenerate, pervert, and any other insult and slur that one could imagine. But God forbid you call any of what these people are doing or believe in weird.
This Trump tumbler is taking over the internet. It comes in this special edition Trumpler box that you can gift or collect. It's stainless steel, it holds 40 ounces, and the design is even 3D, so you can literally feel it, which is so cool.
Nothing says well-adjusted society like spending over $40 on a cup to show everyone that you're one of the most gullible people on the planet.
Corona is 6 letters. When you use gematria and you say A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and you put Corona lined out at 666. So that's 666. But we found that out. So they're saying the white wing crazies found it out, so they changed it to COVID-19, which is C. What is this? C, right?
To C, yeah.
Ovid, look it up. Ovid means sheep. 19, military code for surrender. C, sheep, surrender. That's no joke.
It only takes a quick Google search and 30 seconds of reading to figure out the naming origins of the virus and the illness it causes, but we all know that's far too much to ask and would throw their entire conspiracy-driven belief system into jeopardy.
And so they would have us all live in caves eating crickets because of a
gentleman's time has expired.
0.01% and take away our stoves right on top of that right now.
The next conspiracy theory to go down the drain is Hollywood, the music industry, totally not into the satanic rituals. Despite all of the symbolism, despite all of the coincidence with said symbolism, it never ends. Maybe it's art, but why is it always this kind of art? Why is it never like regular art?
We've had enough of drag queens gyrating in front of children in the public square. These groomers and child predators must be stopped because they're sexualizing children for profit in a multi-billion-dollar medical industry that looks to grow and grow. Something must be done to protect the sacred identity of children because God made children. God made all of us, male and female, in his image he made us. And God doesn't make mistakes.
While some conservative weirdness is objectively less harmful and much easier to stomach and brush off, it is equally important to highlight that the driving force behind all of the pure nonsense we've seen from the right is bigotry against anyone outside of the Republican Party's approved social groups.
If anyone who was a Democrat steps out of line because they've decided they can't go along with the horrible, disgusting, and failing ways of the Democrats, and they actually see the light, see the truth, and they go, I'm going to try voting Republican because these people over here make sense. They like everybody. They think our Constitution is for everyone. They don't want to turn your kids gay and have, transgender, and they don't want to kill babies in the womb.
When elected officials feel this emboldened to defend and spread said bigotry, it signals to the media that this line of thinking and messaging strategy will work with a certain block of voters and vice versa.
From the time they go to preschool, for heaven's sake,
they're taught that, oh, if they're a boy, if they want to be aggressive, if they want to talk about guns, no, that's bad. They need to be medicated. They need to be quieted down. When they get a little older, they're taught that manhood is inherently dangerous, that it contributes to climate change, that they need to renounce their masculinity. And you see this ideology, it suffuses, permeates our media, our culture, all driven by the left.
Case in point, the beacon of masculinity, that is Josh Hawley, saw Tucker Carlson and other Fox hosts lean into the traditional masculinity talking point that has been plastered all over social media from influencers and content creators trying to appeal to young men. Like I said earlier, though, Hawley's rant is a lot less amusing, given that the Fox News audience has already been exposed to Tucker's dangerous men's health medical misinformation.
To another level, expose yourself to red light therapy.
Yes.
And the Juve that we were using in the documentary. There's a massive amount
Which is testicle tanning.
It's testicle tanning, but it's also full body red light therapy, which has massive amount of benefits. And there's so much data out there.
Researchers found that, quote, post-SSRI sexual dysfunction is underrecognized and can be debilitating both psychologically and physically. Well, that's kind of a problem, too. If it steals your sex drive, maybe it's stealing your soul? No, ignore it. Only cult members care.
It is objectively weird to outsiders and casual viewers that a then cable news propagandist like Tucker is so obsessed with American men's sperm count, testosterone levels, and antidepressant drugs stealing your soul. But for everyone in the in-group, these are serious political issues that reveal the degeneracy of the opposition.
I don't trash men. I trash men that I think are soft, that I think are pathetic, that I think are little boys. And I think that there is an epidemic. I will call it a pandemic. The real pandemic is soft men in this country.
If the Republicans don't win, then it will be a threat to democracy, because it will be the end of education, where teachers believe they should be able to trans our kids and talk about 1619 without our knowing about it. And finally, they want one-party rule, which is evidenced by their repeated degradation of anyone who isn't a Democrat. That's what's at stake.
Kay also notes that Hannah's costume is based on a style of Japanese internet pornography, which translates roughly into English as exploding milk porn. So what's going on here? Well, you know exactly what's going on here. Let's stop pretending. Women may not see it right away because generally their lives are not defined by their sex drives. But if you're a man, you get it instantly. What is this about? It's about sex. Stephen Hanna is enlisting other people's children in his sexual fantasies.
This is weird, gross, fundamentally unserious, and does nothing but promote bigotry and discrimination against the LGBTQ+ community, particularly trans people. If Fox was a legit news network instead of a fear and paranoia outlet, none of this would touch the light of day. But they know the viewer base they cater to, just like Dennis Prager and Charlie Kirk's TPUSA.
There's no secular argument against adult incest. Brother and sister want to make love. What's your argument? That they're going to produce mentally offspring? It's nonsense. It takes many generations of inbreeding to do that. There is no secular argument against adult consensual incest.
The greatest need in life after food and shelter is meaning. It is even in sex, and sex is terrific, just for the record.
I actually have a belief. So you know how all the NBA teams do like a Pride night? I think there should be a straight night at the WNBA games.
Because it's so hard to find.
Yeah, because it's mostly straight if you're an NBA fan, and then they have Pride night, and the gay community's welcome. I think the straight community should be welcome to at least one of the WNBA games.
This is weird. No well-adjusted person thinks, talks, and makes this much of a big deal about the sexual preferences of other people. There has to be something more. But the Republican Party not only welcomes but promotes and celebrates this type of rhetoric and legitimate bills that bring the rhetoric to life.
I've heard you talk about parents' rights to raise their kids how they want. In fact, I just double-checked. You voted no on making it illegal for kids to be married to adults at the age of 12 if their parents consented to it. You said actually that should be the law because it's the parents' right and the kids' right to decide what's best for them, to be raped by an adult. Okay?
Do you know kids who have been
With
married
marriage.
at age 12?
That was the law.
Do you know
You
any
voted
kids-
not to change it.
Do you know any kids who have been married at age 12?
I don't need to.
I do. And guess what? They're still married.
I don't even know what to do with that, Claire. I don't even know what to do with it.
We don't know either, Joy, but we do know someone familiar with having inappropriate feelings for his daughter.
Said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
Far from protecting his daughter from being talked about as a sex object, he has encouraged it multiple times. On Howard Stern's radio show in 2004 and then again in 2006.
By the way, your daughter.
She's beautiful.
Can I say this? A piece of ass. Yeah. She looks more voluptuous than ever.
She's actually always been very voluptuous. She's tall. She's almost 6 feet tall.
Still, Donald Trump repeatedly points out how hot his daughter is, saying last year in a Rolling Stone article, "Yeah, she's really something, and what a beauty, that one. If I weren't happily married and, you know, her father."
My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body.
Yeah, she's hot.
Every accusation is a confession to these people, and we're glad the Dems are finally ready to get their hands dirty and meet the right where they want to fight.